Thanks for stopping by to see what I'm up to today. I was at the POTA tent. You see the flags waving, and the crowd is dispersed, but believe me, there were a ton of guys there. And as I was traveling from the POTA tent, I saw this sign. It says Amateur Radio Kits, wa4mcmkits. And let's talk to him. Hey, Don, introduce yourself.
So I'm Don. I'm wa4mcm, and I started this kit business about 3 years ago. So here are the three models of kits that I have available right now. I've got a watt meter, a digital watt meter, SWR watt meter, and I have two different models of remote antenna switches. I have an 8-position switch and a 4-position switch. Both switches have the same features, except the 4-position switch actually has a bias T device that comes with it, so you can inject the control signal over the coax. So this is an 8-position switch, so you can switch between 8 antennas. It has 2 modes of operation. So right now we're in manual mode. So in manual mode, it's just as simple as pressing buttons on the front panel, and you can change the antennas. So I'm simulating antenna changes with these little LEDs that I use for display. So you can see just pressing the buttons and you can change the antennas.
Really, really cool. So let me see if I can try this. So manual mode at home, if I don't have anything hooked up to my computer, or if I don't know node red or programming, I just press the button, and whatever I programmed in down here as my dipole or my
your tri-bander,
step IR, or my tri-bander, or my loop antenna, I just press the button. So number 1 is going to light number 1. Oh, right. There it did.
So your main coax feed from your shack will go into the input right here. Right now I've got basically, it's just a 12-volt DC power source for my LEDs.
Right.
But your main coax would come into here from your amplifier or from your transmitter, and it would be directed via relays over to port 1 and then out to your antenna.
And really cool. Okay, so number 3 is going to light 1, 2. It's going to light that one. So I'll press number 3 here. And sure enough, it did. So 8-position antennas. Now that's manual. How does automatic work?
Right, so you put it in automatic mode by hitting the mode button. And now it's going to take its control from the band data that is being set out of the back of my Yaesu rig. So most modern transmitters or transceivers will output band data. So Flex and Elecraft and ICOM and Yaesu. Unfortunately, Kenwood doesn't do it yet. And maybe their new radios will, if they come out with any new radios, but all the others send band data. I've got a Yaesu FT891 for my demo purposes here, and right now I'm on 17 meters. 17 meters has been programmed to select antenna number 8. So you can see the number 8 antenna is selected.
So number 8 is set there.
So I'm gonna change over to 20 meters. So here we go. 20 meters has been programmed to antenna number 6. So you watched it change.
Let's see. I can't count. 5, 6. So there's 6. So switch it back again. It goes from 6.
So this will go back to 8. So that's 17 meters.
Very cool.
Now let's say you get a different 17 meter antenna. So in order to change the programming, you deprogram antenna 8. So basically you push and hold the button down for 2 seconds and it deprograms it. So now you see it's kind of searching for it. Let's say you've got a new 17 meter antenna on antenna number 2. So I'll push button number 2 down for 2 seconds. Now antenna number 2 has been programmed to 17 meters. So now when we go back to 20 meters, it's on 6. Now when we go back to 17 meters, it's now on 2.
That's really cool. That modernizes the shack, makes it, you don't have to go out and slide anything, unplug coaxes from the entry box or anything like that. That's very cool. So how does this thing work inside here? Okay,
so the brains is this PIC microcontroller. So it has all the program is running on it. And a PIC microcontroller, they have different models, but this one has like 4 ports. And each port, depending on which port it is configured of individual bits. So I'm using 2 8-bit ports. Okay, one of the 8-bit ports is listening or monitoring the button for button pushes. The other 8-bit port is driving the LEDs that you see on the front panel buttons. So when I press a button, let me go back to manual mode. When I press a button, say button number 5, the microcontroller detects that bit number 5 on that button port has been pushed, and there's some program code that says, okay, in order to do that, I need to, number one, I need to light LED number 5 on the front, so it does that, and then it has to send the control signal over the four conductor control cable. So it sends a binary coded decimal word. So this is binary coded decimal 0 to 7. It's a 3-bit for 3 wires. So for antenna number 5, it would have to be binary. It would have to be binary 4 because it goes from 0 to 7 for antennas 1 through 8. So antenna number 5 would be binary 4. I know it's kind of confusing. So if you look at the little LEDs here, you'll see that least significant bit here, most significant bit here, it's 001, which is a binary 4. So the microcontroller, when it detects a button number 5 being pushed, it not only lights the LED in button number 5 from one, we'll call it port B, but on port C, it also activates bit number 012. So the basically the third bit is activated to make a binary 4.
So let me push another button here. So the binary code for antenna 3 is going to be 010,
which is a binary 2.
Understood. I kind of get that kind of stuff. Hey, tell me something. Is this limited to 100 watts?
No, this is full legal power. It'll handle 1500 watts key down.
Full legal limit. Did I hear you say that somebody I know uses one of these? I'm a friend of Kyle's, Alpha 0Z.
Yeah, Kyle and their club purchased 4 of the 4-position kits that they use in their club station.
So
they're using Node Red. So Node Red. So each of these models also have a feature where you can buy a optional USB interface that you see right here, this little daughter board, and it'll connect to your computer. And I publish in the operations manual the communications protocol for changing antennas. And with Node Red, you can create Node Red flows, and you can control the entire switch from your Node Red dashboard. Remotely.
One of the things that caught my attention was, I think I told you, another person in the same industry as you, but he works on building controllers for repeaters and other things. And he decided, it's the guy who, it's George, the guy who owns Pactenna's Sierra Communication, I think it is. But he's branched out into a station controller that uses Node Red. One of the things that might not work for me on his controller is it's limited to 100 watts. So when you tell me that you can do full legal limit with your antenna ports and it's Node Readable, that's a really professional way of putting it, it really caught my attention. So you're going to hear from me again. What's this?
So this is a digital SWR watt meter. This has the capability for full legal power. It uses an external sensor. You can see the sensor down below. That one's not connected right now. I have a sensor down, an extra sensor that's connected to my FT891 right now. And okay. What it does, it detects forward and reflected power, and it feeds the results, the DC voltages for both forward and reflected, into the back of the watt meter.
So can you give us a demo right now?
Right, so I'm transmitting into a dummy load, so you're not going to see any reflected power because it's a 50 ohm dummy load.
We can kind of see it.
Well, I mean, there won't be any reflected power.
I'm sorry, the screen.
So I'm transmitting about 100 watts, and I've got peak hold set up right now, so it'll hold the peak very well, and it'll hold it for about a second. So testing 1, 2, and as soon as I stop talking, then it'll drop after about a second.
So we only saw forward power on this display because of the situation.
Well, there is no reflected power.
There's no reflected power in a dummy load. Well, Don, I really appreciate you spending time with me. I think a lot of people are going to really enjoy these kits.